Hi YouTube, welcome to Shimmer Girl Talks. Today's message is going to be um, talking about passport bros. This is a small percentage of black men who are getting their passports to go overseas to get a wife, or that's what they're saying. So I'm going to try to unpack this. So please bear with me. I'm going to go off on a quick tangent. So I have a friend who is from another country. And years ago, she told me, and I don't even think she had two children at the time, but she had a son, a young son. He's like almost a college graduate now. So that shows you how long ago this was that she said this. And she said that when her son is of marriageable age, she's going back to her country to get her son a wife. And obviously, that said a lot about how she viewed American women. And even back then, you're looking maybe 16, 18 years ago, maybe longer than that. I understood. I wasn't even married at that time, but I understood even back then that many American women, this isn't just black women, are not marriage minded or marriage material, to be honest. And it's even worse in our community because, as I've said in other videos, many black women are very opposed to marriage and anti-marriage. The irony is black women want marriage, they do, but at the same time, when you look at the rhetoric online and the narratives that you're seeing from so many women online, and I've shared that on here before. I just recently did a video that black women shame other black women for wanting marriage. These are the talking points that I normally see from black women. Things like, women only want marriage as a status symbol. They only want marriage to boost their self-esteem. They're male identified. They're pick-me's. They're, they just want marriage just to say that they are married. And if you are married, then you settled. You're desperate. These are the words that comes out of black women's mouths. That not all, but a lot of black women that I've seen. But I'm kind of going off on a tangent. I have to say, first of all, I would like to also say this as well. Anyone who has dealt with women from other cultures, because you also hear some black women say, yeah, well, these black men only want these women from other cultures because they want a doormat and they want to just control somebody and they want somebody to just be blindly submissive to them and, whatever negative thing that they can say. But before I get into my opinion about black men going overseas, there was a time when it was a large mass of white men who were going over to particularly Asian countries to get a wife. And again, you're looking at years ago when I was seeing this, and not to be shady or anything, but when I saw some of these men who were going overseas to get a wife, you could kind of understand why they had to, because if you saw how they looked, if you saw their ages and stuff, it's a good chance that they did not stand a chance in America for the type of woman that they want. At least, if they were going overseas, they had a chance of getting an exotic looking woman with their, based on how they looked. They weren't going to get the dime pieces and the tens here in America. Particularly, those women would require, a man of a certain caliber as far as his finances, as far as his physical appearance and stuff like that. So you're looking at 10 years ago, or not 10 years ago, but years ago. As a matter of fact, I had answered on one of the forums that I like to, answer questions on. And I'm assuming it was a white woman, but she asked the question, why are so many white men going overseas to get wives? Sorry, I'm kind of, been kind of in a hurry today. But why are these men going overseas to get wives? What do those women overseas have that we don't have here in America? Now, I don't remember verbatim what I said, but I said something to the tune of the women overseas still have traditional mindsets. They're still pretty much raised to be wives. They want to be wives. There's really nothing standing in the way between them and wife duties, cooking, cleaning, tending to the house, rearing children, stuff like that. Whereas here in America, you're looking at a lot of superficial type things that tends to get in the way of a woman wanting to be a wife, let's be honest. And something that I wanted to say about women of other cultures, you have this, some women have this preconceived notion that those women are just doormats and pushovers and stuff like that. That's what a lot of black women will say is the reason why some of these black men are wanting to go overseas. And so I'm going to go back to the comment that I was about to make. Some of y'all have never dealt with women of other cultures, apparently, either in your workplace or you've been to their house, you've been friends with them or whatever. Those women will get with you. You understand? Most of them are not little timid little, yes, blah, blah, blah. They will tell you about yourself. I'm talking about the husband. They will tell that husband about himself. But here's the difference. As my friend who said that she would send her son, she would go back to her country to get her husband. She told me, and I wasn't married at this time, but she knew my mouth. And she told me, if you need to talk to your husband, about an issue or whatever, she said you pull him aside in private. And so those women overseas, they got some mouths on them too. They just pick their battles. But see, it's a little bit more than just picking their battles. There are also other positives. That's not the word that I want to use, but there are also other positives that will make a man want to pursue some of those women overseas. And, again, one of those reasons will be because, they do know their role. They do know, that their role is to be a helpmeet or a helpmate to a husband, not necessarily to be his equal or to go toe to toe with him like a sparring partner, which that's what a lot of American women do. And so in regards to some of the black men who want to go overseas for a spouse, I would say this to anybody, just vet properly, be careful, because, I don't want to necessarily put it out there, but at some point, it could turn into green card scams and stuff like that. But that isn't what this is about. I'm sure those men, I'm hoping, are savvy enough and use enough discernment to know, what to look for so they don't be duped or whatever. So my bottom line, for a man that wants a wife, an actual wife in every sense of the word, the traditional minded wife, if he has to go overseas or out of his comfort zone or out of his particular area to achieve that, I see absolutely nothing wrong with that. Because we have to be serious, we have to be honest as women in this country. For the past 30, 40 plus years, many American women have been sold the idea that they don't need a man, they don't want a man, they're independent. It's not their job to rear their house, keep it clean or cook. Or for a man, he's grown. I don't have to do all of that. What's he going to do for me? But that's another topic for another time. So, um, providing that is for genuine companionship, an actual wife or whatever, I don't see anything wrong with those men wanting to do that. And see, and I'm going to go off on a slight tangent. You have a lot of women who cannot for the life of them figure out why men are shying away from American women. And one of the things is, when you hear, women talking about how independent they are and how, their education or whatever, should be enough to make them look, for a man to look at or whatever. Men are telling women it's not about your education. If you have an education, great. But it's just innately in man, I don't know if I said that right, to want to protect and provide for a woman that is his. Does not mean she is his property or his chattel or his slave. This is something that so many American women who have fallen under the feminist ideology and their whatever, you have to consider the source when it comes to the feminist ideology. And I've said this before, a lot of those women don't like men. A lot of those women want to be men. A lot of those women are lesbians. So why would you take in what they have to say about how it is to be a woman, a wife for a husband? They're not going to tell you, how to be soft and inviting and having a peaceful home and stuff like that. So the men that want that, they're going somewhere else to get it. And they're being clowned about it. You just want a weak woman. You can't handle no strong woman like me. And then, but you know what? That's going to keep you single. And something else that I don't understand with a lot of these women who say they want a husband or and stuff like that. You're going to other single women for advice and counsel. And those women can be in their 40s and 50s and never got a husband. And that's who you're going to for advice. And then you're wondering, why am I still single? Men are telling you what they want. You have married women like me, offering advice about what's expected of a wife. But then y'all would go right over to those single women, never married, independent, strong women who are telling y'all, nah, that's not what men want. What they want is, and that's not how that works. So I don't know how far off on a tangent I went, but that was my topic for today. So bottom line, if the men are sincere about actually wanting a wife and they're not actually going over there and just messing over women that will allow themselves to be messed over, they actually truly, truly want a wife, I see nothing wrong with it. And I might end up doing a separate video. Believe it or not, because I've talked to some of the young men on my job, and I'm talking about men in their 20s and in their 30s, they want wives. But here's the thing. Women are the ones that change the dynamic when it comes to courtship, dating, marriage, and stuff like that. So even though some of those young men want marriage, right now they have a plethora of women who are backing that thing up. And I remember my grandmother, she's been gone for 12 years now. And she was married for almost 70 years before, she ended up dying first. And she told me eons ago, she said, I feel sorry for the young women out here who wants a spouse, because she said these men out here, they have all kinds of options pulling at them. This is what my grandmother said. She said, men want men and women want men. So men have all of this but that was years ago. But now you have men saying there are no wife material here in America, and that should tell you something. Now, obviously, there are still women, getting married and all of that stuff. But anyway, so that's my topic for today. Please comment, like, subscribe. But I always, recommend that you check out my other videos, make sure that we're vibing. And I will talk to you later. Bye.